Hi Aquarius, welcome to your love reading. I'm just taking a look at the bottom of the deck here to get an idea of your situation. This is showing me, and here's you, right? You came to the conclusion that you were holding on to something that was not bringing you what you wanted. Ace of Swords reversed. This is not only something that led to a painful ending. You could feel as though this person betrayed you, but this talks about some deception, right? I feel like, Aquarius, this is for you because, again, this is your energy. You gave a whole lot to somebody who is very, very sad. This is the energy of someone who is always thinking about what they lost. They have every excuse in the book as to why a situation can't work or why they can't be successful, right? This is someone who's kind of given up on life and love and everything else. And this is your energy of you trying to rehabilitate this person and waiting for them to be able to give you the stability that you wanted or to move the situation along. This person could have had a bad divorce. If they didn't have a separation, this is somebody who just always kind of felt like they never got what they deserved in life, right? This is someone who looks at other people and instead of feeling happy for them, they have a sense of bitterness and they feel like the victim here. You know, like, why couldn't I have that? Or why do things never work out for me, right? For you, Aquarius, you're coming through as someone who is a very action-oriented person. You have a good perspective on why things have happened to you in your life. Rather than you mope about things that haven't gone your way, you take control of the situation, right? This is very proactive energy coming through here for you. You're somebody who, you know, maybe if it didn't work out, it wasn't meant for me. I'm going to keep moving and I'm going to do something new. Meanwhile, you kind of have this energy of this drunk Eeyore who can't seem to get it together and they're always sad, right? Always kind of depressed and looking at the glass as half empty or mostly empty, right? Whereas you are always trying to pull this person out of that rut. This got heavy for you. 10 of Wands. You decided to let this go, right? Because the thing about it is you went from pouring all of this energy and love into this person. These are your 2 cups. You're filling them constantly for this person. They're not even paying attention, right? You could be doing backflips and they wouldn't, like, nothing phases them because they're so focused on the negative. You didn't want that anymore because you've made peace with anything in your life that may have been keeping you down. Some of you may have just gotten a new perspective about life, right? But you also realize that this person, they were very focused on their happiness or their unhappiness, but the way that they operated made you feel as though they were constantly rejecting you, and that was starting to wear on your self-esteem, right? They were always just ho-hum, life never gives me anything, and that was the reason for making you do everything, right? Oh, if I try, it's just not going to work anyway. What's the point? Aquarius, can you just show up to this relationship on your own? Not anymore, right? 7 of Wands, this is you standing your ground with this person, right? I'm tired of paying you attention. I'm tired of carrying all these wands. I'm tired of waiting for you to do the work. But now we come to the energy of the Chariot in the reverse. So this is you trying to figure out, where do you go from here, right? You've released this person. I don't know if they've released you though, but this is also like, wow, I know what I want. I think I know what I want, but I don't know how to get it, where to go to find it, right? I'm going to pull you some oracle cards. Very nice. Good for you, Aquarius. All right, Aquarius. So, oracle cards are out. Actually, let's get one for how you're viewing your person. Okay, vulnerability in the reverse. So, we have the Tower in the reverse. This is something that this relationship, even though this could have been like your last relationship, this may have been a while ago and you're still just kind of testing the waters. Maybe you're starting to get back into dating, but you haven't found anybody really worth your time, worth moving on with, right? This person came through as the Ace of Pentacles. So for as long as you've been with this person, this is the energy of feeling like things should have gotten off the ground a whole lot faster, right? Imagine this tower, Aquarius, and all the bricks that it takes to build this up, right? This person brought one brick to the equation. Here you are, absolutely exhausted because you're doing all of the work, right? You took a break from this connection because for what you're bringing, they're bringing what, like maybe 10% to a relationship that requires 100%, right? When the tower is in the upright, we talk about the foundation. Now that it's in the reverse, this is crumbled, right? It's to the ground. But this happens because we have to go back to the energy of the 15, which is the devil. There was an element of toxicity in this relationship, and I feel like it was this individual. They were very stuck to all of their obsessive thinking and their depression, right? Being depressed doesn't make someone a bad person by any means, but it's very hard to deal with someone who wants to stay depressed. I mean, nobody wants to stay depressed, but this energy here, this is someone who will just like drink because they're so unhappy and they have all these opportunities to fix things or to go after what they want, but they won't do it, right? That's a whole nother can of worms. Not judging, just saying what I see. For you though, this is really exhausting. This is you taking a break from this. This is you feeling like you needed to decide if you could honestly communicate with this person and tell them how they've been making you feel. Would that lead to an ending? Do you even care anymore? Right? Trying to figure out what about this can be salvaged, if anything. They're still committed to this, but why wouldn't you be, right? This is kind of a nice setup where you have someone who is willing to go the distance for you while you sit and cry, right? Fear in the reverse is coming out as your past energy. So the thing about it with what I'm seeing here, this is literally at one time, maybe you were afraid to be on your own. But as you started to look at this relationship and maybe even compare it to other relationships you've seen in the past or your friends, you kind of started realizing you've always been alone, right? So what were you afraid of? And I think that's what really gave you the push to take a real and honest look at your relationship to decide if this was for you, right? Because if you're by yourself doing all the work, you could be alone doing all the work, right? Without the headache. You're trying to figure out, or you've been trying to figure out, if you're going to give this person a second chance. Because this talks about an offer. This talks about a new beginning with this Ace of Pentacles. And this Four of Swords talks about a second chance. This is your energy between the two of you in the past. This whole situation came crashing down, not only because they didn't do the work, but they were probably unfaithful, right? If they weren't unfaithful to you, they were non-committal, or they just, they treated you like an option. They always said they didn't know what they wanted, right? And they were very concerned about their own happiness. They took forever to reciprocate. You at present, Aquarius, you're coming through as the Empress in the reverse. And this is being clarified by the Oracle of Self-Esteem in the reverse. So what's going on, guys? Because Empress in the reverse, it talks about going from kind of starting to get your groove back and feeling good about yourself to talking yourself out of having that empowerment, right? I feel like this person is pulling you down a little bit. You're trying very hard to move forward. You're trying to manifest something new for yourself, right? But there's still this energy between the two of you. There's some anger here. Some of you feel like you really wasted your time, right? When it comes to this person. Some of you feel like you've wasted the better years of your life on this person. And so now maybe you're trying to get out and date and you're feeling like, wow, I've been with this for so long, right? Or maybe this ended and then it took me a while to be ready to date and now I don't know how, right? I don't know, how do people meet each other, right? You're trying to make this work. You want to make this work. You want something new, right? The hard part is it's easy to go back to what you know. Understandable, especially when you've invested a lot in someone else, right? If you do that, though, you're not trusting your intuition because the High Priestess is in the reverse. And with the Queen of Cups coming out in the reverse, this very much is in alignment with the Empress in reverse, as well as self-esteem. This is someone who she's taking a look at the future and that fear comes back, right? And then they're stuck. They're stuck again. So they would rather go back to a situation that's indecisive than to move forward. Because in your hopes and fears, you have 5 of Pentacles reversed. You hope that you can leave this situation, but you fear leaving, right? You almost want this person to come after you, just so you don't have to go out and try to do, something new. And that's understandable. Because then you have to address, how do you open up to someone else? How do you do that again when this is what you were looking at before, right? And then that's when you start talking to yourself like, you know what, there's too many unknowns about this, and maybe it's just better to stay where I am. Tell me about hopes and fears. For some of you, you've been with this person for a while and you're worried about your body. You could have put on some weight like we all do every time we're in a relationship, Aquarius. That's totally normal. Like, you get comfortable with each other, you have great dinners, you eat snacks, you Netflix, you chill, right? Most couples aren't hitting the gym all day, every day. For those of you who are not worried about your body, you could be worried about how will you present yourself to someone new. What do you tell someone you've been doing these past few years, right? Taking care of a man-child or a woman-child, right? How do you explain that? Maybe you feel like you should have more for yourself now than you do. But you've invested so much in this person, it's almost like they've stunted your growth, right? You haven't been able to move forward because you've been so busy trying to love them through all of their issues, right? For those of you who are not worried about your body and you're not worried about what you tell people, this is also the energy of fearing rejection. But Aquarius, you got to think, if you stay where you're at, this person rejects you too, right? I know it's kind of easier to stay with what you know because at least you know what it is, right? 3 of Swords reversed. You don't want to get your heart broken again. Some of you are just trying to ignore love after this, because it's just not worth the effort. Because here, how you're looking at yourself or your person or love, right? This is you. You've healed, but you're not open to being vulnerable to anybody. Or the last time you were vulnerable to someone, they did such a number on you, right? They confirmed your fears about love, and now you're stuck. Because we go back to the energy of the 8 of Swords. But the thing is with the 8 of Swords, this woman, she's not bound, she's not tied, she can free herself from this cycle, right? So Spirit is saying that this is a choice. And I know that's not what you want to hear, but with the Chariot in the reverse, when we go back to the energy of the Lovers, it quite literally does mean a choice about love, right? You have to make that choice so that you know which direction you're driving your chariot. Your future energy is the High Priestess in the reverse. Your obstacle, 3 of Swords. Advice, Wheel of Fortune, being clarified by Children in the reverse. Future energy, this is you trying to make something work, but the hard part is you're not in a space where you understand your own divinity, because I feel like you've been cut off from your higher self, right? Sometimes when we have to make someone else such a priority, we're not able to connect to our higher being because we're so busy taking care of someone, loving someone, right? Trying to heal someone else's trauma, that we don't get to focus on our own, right? And so that's where these things are coming from, these fears. You gave to this person and then they didn't give back. And now it's like, wow, this feels all over again. Maybe like a mother that you had, right? for some of you. This is something that you have an opportunity to fix. The obstacle is that you're going to have to look at some things that may hurt your feelings, right? If you really want to be able to move on from cycles like this in your life. It's also an obstacle to get rid of this person if that's something that you'd like to do. The obstacle here is also going out and exploring your options, right? Because you fear the worst, which very much talks about this Nine of Swords energy, right? But it can go both ways. Aquarius, Nine of Swords in the reverse can also talk about fearing something that will never happen. And I feel like for a lot of you, that's the case. But if this is what you know, right, that's normal. I'm not faulting you for it. I completely get it. I've been there before. And that's why I can see this in the cards so easily, that this is kind of the problem here, right? Advice, Wheel of Fortune. That's the 10. Cycle ending, right? Divine timing. Time to move on. You may not want to move on from this person, right? Because there's a lot of commitment to this past energy. And that's understandable, right? But this also talks about looking at what you're investing. Is it worth the risk? Because it seems like it's a little bit detrimental to your well-being, right? Or maybe you could invest some of that within yourself and still keep investing in this person, but do it a little bit less, right? Because this is a cycle that's coming to a close. There's something changing here. And you may not know it yet, but I feel like there's been downloads and there's signs that are in your face. They're trying to get your attention and show you. But you're very focused on the tangible at this point and what you can see and what you can do all by yourself. And that's because you've been by yourself, having to do everything by yourself. Spirit is asking you, though, to open your heart. If you can't open your heart to another human being, it's time for you to open up your heart chakra and connect with yourself, right? The issue when this Empress comes out in the reverse is that she doesn't see her own worth, and so she attracts partners that don't value her, right? This is saying that it's time to move on from a cycle of giving your attention to people who don't see your worth. Tell me anything else for advice. There we go. This is you stepping into a whole new phase in your life. You know, if being with someone seems a little bit scary or like something you're not ready for, you don't have to be. This card is asking you to find a place in life, in your mind, in your heart, in your whatever, kind of like this garden, right? A safe place where you can be just fine on your own. And then you can keep cultivating that until your environment matches your insides. Because right now you're empty, right? You've given so much to everyone else and they're not seeing your worth. You're feeling depleted because here you are, right? In this energy where you just need to take care of yourself for a bit, right? Spirit's saying do that. If you're feeling like it's time to move forward with something very nice for yourself, because the kind of person you want to attract, you're not going to find as long as you're still in this energy of the devil, right? Because that's our Tower reversed. This is a cycle that you will have to break. I think for a lot of you, you are waiting for this person to make a change. The change here is going to start with you. It's going to come from you, right? And then once you're treating yourself differently, other people will treat you differently as well. So Aquarius, I'm going to pull you some oracle cards, and then we're going to take it over to the extended reading. I want to take a look. These two cards wanted to come out because I was just going to ask about old love, new love. I was going to say in the extended, I'm taking a look at old love and new love. It looks like you may continue to deal with this person until you feel ready to leave. You're thinking about it, or you're thinking about moving on from old hurts if you're not still with someone, right? But it looks like this cycle isn't over with this individual either. So let's pull these cards. Some of you really are moving with this Three of Wands. Some of you may be thinking about moving out if you're living with the individual that came through in this reading. And that could be really stressing you out because it seems like this has been kind of long, right? All right. So We'll pull some more oracle cards as well. Financial flow. I like it with the Nine of Pentacles. This is your money getting exciting. Nine of Pentacles is not only financial stability. This is you being a boss, right? Not needing anybody, starting a business, a company, whatever you dream of. It seems like now is a very good time for you to do that. Maybe some of the energy you've been giving to this person you can put into giving it to other people, because I feel like you're naturally a healer, right? And that's why sometimes we attract partners that need healing. Sometimes we don't attract what we are. We attract people who need what we are. But we also have to know our limits, right? That took me a long time to learn. So please don't think I am trying to preach. Sometimes I still backslide. So we have higher consciousness. That talks a lot about the energy I was saying where it's time to connect to your higher self. Financial flow, which is that Nine of Pentacles. New location with the Three of Wands and the Ten of Swords reversed. You could be fearing moving. Looks like you may have a move in the horizon. Could be a move with a job. You know, some of you could be starting a business and leaving an old job, right? Romantic partner. Now we got help. Ask for help. Receiving is an act of generosity with romantic partner. So maybe this can be saved if you communicate to this person what you need and allow them to give it to you rather than you being the only one giving, right? But if you look at this person is also looking to this big person in the sky, almost like, teach me how to do this, right? And that again re-solidifies this higher consciousness. You know, you've been doing everything on your own. It's time to start tapping into divinity and allowing divinity to help you. New location was clarified by clearing. Clear the clutter. When in doubt, throw it out. So if you're not moving, maybe now is a very good time, Aquarius, to act like you are, because there's an energy of newness and getting rid of old things. And if it's not in the physical, then it's in the mental and emotional. With the Wheel of Fortune, this is new. This is you closing out a cycle and moving into the next energy of the next 10, 11 cards of the major arcana, right? The next one is justice. But for that to happen, you first have to move forward, and karma will balance. So there could be some outdated beliefs that you're holding on to, right? We talked about that childhood card. Could also just be that you need to do something different. For some of you, you would do very well to focus more on your diet or your body with the Nine of Pentacles. Do something new that you haven't done before to pamper yourself, right? Do anything you can to change the way you view yourself, because there's an old paradigm here that needs to shift, right? We got achievement, clarifying financial flow. Chase your dreams, may be surprised by where they lead you. Excuse me, right? Okay, so this is saying, what are you waiting for? There's a new something on the horizon that's going to boost your finances. Maybe you've had to put your dreams off for this person. For some of you, maybe you put this person through college and then they didn't do anything with the degree, or, you know, whatever it is, right? It's time to put yourself first. Our higher consciousness is coming out with self-respect. Respect yourself. You're the best judge of what's right for you, right? If you don't know, it's time to tap into that higher consciousness energy, because when the Chariot's reversed, we go back to the Lovers, which doesn't only talk about a physical love. It talks about the union of yourself with your higher self, right? And also your inner child. So those are some things that you can think about, Aquarius. I'm going to take it over to your extended reading. We're going to look at this person because I feel like they're still very much a part of your life or in your mind. We're going to see how they're viewing the situation, how they feel about you, what they're doing now, what they want, what they will do, why, how it will affect you, and what the advice is for you when it comes to dealing with this individual. I hope this was helpful. You take care of yourself, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye. You were in the equation, but they weren't willing to consider you and factor you in as a permanent fixture. They didn't give you enough time, right? They're very worried about their own happiness. This person, though, they feel like they can come back. They feel like they can come and go as they please. And I feel like that's why you're so tired, right? Because one minute they're showing you attention, the next minute they're gone. And that's probably what's leading you to have low self-esteem, right? For some of you, your person, from what I'm seeing, it's literally the energy of like, maybe they'll spend the night with you and then a picture comes up on like Instagram or something of them with someone else.